All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Gun Reviews. We're here talking this Wednesday morning about Triple Frontier, the movie that I reacted to not too long ago, the trailer anyway. Super excited for it. Thought this could be a game changer for Netflix, but with movies like Roma, what do I know? And there will be spoilers eventually, but pretty much we're just going to get into, should you see this movie? Is it any good? Blah, blah, blah. Now, if you're familiar with my channel, you probably are noticing that I'm not as exuberant as I can be, or as passionate as I can be when I'm talking about something. And maybe it's because it's 9 in the morning. I don't know. But this movie, while it looks great, while it sounds great, while it's acted great, it just kind of leaves me hollow. It leaves me not really feeling much of anything except, why did this movie get made? The director is a guy that who directed a movie called The Most Violent Year, and his movie, when I saw the trailer for that movie, and when I saw who was in it, and the premise and everything, I was excited. And then I saw it, and then it made me feel basically how I feel now, where it's a movie that I'm gonna forget about very quickly, and that sucks. Now, if you've got a military background, you may really like this movie because most of this movie is dealing with these guys and their relationship to each other and what they know as soldiers, how to carry yourself, how to behave, how to act with each other, what you think of the world, things like that, moralities, things that soldiers go through that most of us don't have to deal with, the choices that you have to make in war-like situations. There's a lot of that in here. For a regular guy like me, I can't quite get to where these guys are, this brotherhood that they have, the things that you have to do, the temptations that you see and you don't take, the way that the world screws you up, the way that you fight for your country and you come back and you don't have the things that you probably should have because of what you've given up to fight for your country. There's a lot of that in here. There's a lot of what do old soldiers do when they've done their bit and now they have nothing to show for it. There's all that in here, and that's all fine. In the end, though, this movie has like three acts. There's the setup where Oscar Isaac convinces everybody to do this thing that they know they should probably not do. The things that you joke about, like, man, if I had a chance to take out Pablo Escobar and run away with all that money, I'd do it. It's the things you think and don't say. It's just pipe dreams. But in this case, they actually decide to go through with it. And it is a pretty good premise as far as, like, it sounds easy, and if it sounds too easy, it's probably because it is. What this movie kind of made me think of, and this is like way different than this, is it made me think of the movie Quick Change with Bill Murray, Gina Davis, and Randy Quaid from way back, where he plots this bank robbery and he pulls it off and he's getting away, and it kind of goes off without a hitch, but then it's the getting away with it that takes like the majority of the movie, and the most difficulties come from trying to escape what you've done. Now, that's a comedy. This is not a comedy. This movie is very serious, and that's how it is. It's like the first hour, they figure out how to do everything, they get the money, and then the rest of it is them trying to get away and survive. And while everybody's acting really good, especially Affleck, I don't know, Affleck is doing something here, and I don't know how much of his real life is pouring out onto the screen, but he really looks upset, like sad. Like everything that comes out of his mouth, I completely believe. Like there's something else going on. He's doing something different than the rest of these guys. And I really appreciated what he did in this movie. But this movie is filled with cliches. This movie is filled with bad decisions that are bad decisions, that the characters, as trained professional soldiers, should know not to do. and they're making them, and then they're surprised at the results. I don't really like that. I feel like this movie, if they wanted to go the route that this movie takes, they could have done things where they just take matters out of these characters' hands, where things that happen are the things that they couldn't have done anything about. There are ways to do that in this story. Unfortunately, what they do is they hand the reins over to the characters and make them do things that these characters probably wouldn't do. And I don't like that. All for like extra dramatic effect later on, cause and effect, that kind of thing. You accidentally shoot this person over here that like that person might try to kill you. That kind of thing. Ben Affleck's turn towards greed. I guess, look, if I recommend seeing it because on some level it's adequate. It's kind of entertaining. If you put all the pieces together and you like camaraderie and you want to bro out with your bros, this is a bro movie. I'm not that big of a bro, but if you want to see a bunch of good actors do some really good acting in a movie that you'll forget in about an hour, this is that movie. But like I said, if you go into this not expecting too much, then you're not going to be that disappointed. This movie is over 2 hours long. It does clip pretty well. It doesn't drag really that much to me. And so, yeah, do I recommend it? Yes. Am I as excited as I was when I saw the trailer? No. Am I disappointed? Yes. Am I underwhelmed? Yes. This movie takes a realistic stance at things, and in order for me to talk about it, we got to get into spoilers. So from here on out, Triple Frontier is an all right movie, but with the way it went down, it probably could have just been shorter. I don't know. This is a thinker. This one's going to take me a while to like fully process everything, but am I glad I saw it? Yeah. I know that like before the day is over, I'm going to forget this movie. So let's talk about spoilers. So right away, Ben Affleck's character, you can tell, has financial problems. And ever since he's been forced to retire, he's been aimless and doesn't really know what to do with himself. And Oscar Isaac comes along with this plan that he, fights at first. And then eventually, like everybody else in this movie that fights, no, man, I can't. No. Well, he won't if you won't, and that kind of thing. We've seen it before. They all end up there, all right? It's all pretty pointless. As far as like, oh my God, I wonder if they're not going to go. So they go, and while Ben Affleck is his character is this great strategist, he plans things out. He's really good at it. Then they get the money. They find the money. And he just becomes just super greedy and wants to take everything. And while I understand that the temptation, when you see all that money, would be insane, but you're a soldier and you understand rules of engagement, you understand, the mission parameters and things that you know what you're supposed to do, you get it, you get out. But instead, his character just goes greedy, and now they have like $250 million to drag out of the jungle. And from then on, it just starts to, after they kill the drug dealer unceremoniously, one of them gets shot, but it's like a flesh wound pretty much. It's never really brought up again. And then they just start making, just little bullshit decisions that they shouldn't do. And it's like God damn it. Like when they try to like take too much money, like they just, I don't know. It feels like the plan could have been like better. Like they didn't realize that they were going to get that much money. Fine. They light the place up. Great. No more money. But why did they have to take so much money when they already knew that they physically were probably not going to be able to get it all out? And little by little, this movie money starts to just fritter away, kind of like the Old Man in the Sea, right? So in Hemingway's book, the guy goes out there, catches a big ass marlin or a swordfish or whatever it was. He He's dragging around the side of the boat, and eventually, it little by little gets eaten by sharks. And by the time he gets home, there's literally nothing left, right? I think that's the way the story goes. That's how this feels. Because by the end of this movie, their money's all gone except for $5 million. Out of 250, there's $5 million left. And that's after fees and stuff. So there's probably a little bit more than that, because if you're going to, try to hide this money, so there was probably a good amount more, maybe like 10 or 15, who knows, maybe 20. They never give like the final numbers here. But it just felt like, what was the point? Because again, Affleck gets killed. And I actually was kind of like, oh shit, they're going to fucking do it. They killed Affleck, the character that I actually wanted to see, get something out of this. The guy who had the most to gain from this whole thing is the only one that dies. And I know why they did it. That's a because I was trying to figure out, okay, Garrett Hedlund is the only not pretty big name on this cast. And so I thought, okay, he's going to die. He's going to die because he's the one that you can afford to get rid of. But, and they make him a nice enough character that when he would die, you'd be like, oh, man. But then they switch it and they give it to Affleck. So that way the characters can give all their money to his family and make it all worthwhile at the end. Worthwhile. And what did they learn? What did they learn? Did anybody learn anything in this movie? Nothing. It's just, I don't know if this is like a cautionary tale for like cops and military to, hey man, that money that you might want to steal, well, here's what could happen if you tried to be dirty about it. I don't know. And it's an underwhelming movie that just made me feel like sad that this wasn't like, I don't know. I'm sure that there are going to be tons of you out there that love it. And if you do, great. I don't usually like to pick apart movies these days and be like, too much of a film critic, if you know what I'm saying. Like, oh, the tone of this movie was totally off. And I'm not going to do that with this movie, even though there's, there are some of these problems. The major problem is it entertaining? Is it something that you're going to be like happy that you saw at the end of it? And honestly, no. And I hate saying that. This is like the fourth time I've tried to review this today. I've cut these down and I'm still not satisfied with this review because it's so new and fresh in my mind that I don't think I can give it 100% of a fair shake. But I think I've given it as good of a shake as I can. And I really wish it was better, but I can't, it's the story. It's the story and the script that are the problem here. It's not the acting. It's not how the movie looks and sounds and all that stuff. None of that is wrong. None of that is a problem here. It's the story. And so I'm glad that I did this early in the morning. That way I wasn't going to do this at 7 o'clock at night watching it during, peak entertainment hours when people really want to relax and see a good movie. Because literally this movie just kind of ends. And unceremoniously, it's like each character starts to walk out of the room, get me out of this. Literally signing a piece of paper going, and you'll never see me again, bye. And that's pretty much it, is you watch the movie and then you walk away from it and you never go back to it again. So, anyway. If you liked this review, because look, if you went into this with preconceived notions that you're just going to love this movie no matter what, then hey, I'm sorry that this isn't the review that you wanted to hear. If you want to be practical about it and figure out is this a waste of my time, this is the review for you because, 2 hours of your life, you can't get back sometimes. And at least at Netflix, when you're watching it, you can just turn it off whenever you want and watch something else. But if you go to the theater and you walk out, you really feel like you lost money. Or when you go to the theater and you see something like this, you really feel like, man, I could have seen freaking, I don't know, Captain Marvel again. And that's how I feel. That's how I feel, is that I should leave here and go see Captain Marvel again. But anyway, like I said, if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. Otherwise, this is Rob at Smirking Gun Review saying, I really wish I had better things to say about this movie. I really wish that it stayed with me. I really wished I liked it more. I really wish I liked it more. But unfortunately, I can't say that. So anyway, this is Rob at Smirking Gun Reviews saying have a great day, and we will see you on the next video. Bye.